So the last thing I'd like you to do is I'd like us to review what we talked about last week. We had talked about the 88 key size keyboard, and we had talked about how they have different names for those different areas of the keyboard. You have a picture. I know your keyboard that you practice on is not the full 88 keys, but you have a picture of a keyboard always here at the bottom of when we're learning a new song. So what I'd like you to do is kind of follow along with that picture. And we're going to review a little bit. Remember that this part here that's in the middle of the keyboard, we call the middle. Pretty easy to figure out, right? And that's where we'll find when we finally start calling notes their names. There's a note that we use kind of to guide us where we're going, and it's called middle C. Well, it's found in the middle of the keyboard. So I want you to be familiar with the fact that this is going to be called the middle. Now remember, as we went up a little bit into the little bit higher notes, so we're going, let's see, if you're watching this, it would be this way on your keyboard. This was called the treble. And treble is usually where ladies' voices sing, or at this point your voice would be singing in the treble area. And then above the treble was the high area of the piano. And remember, we've experimented and we listened to some of the sounds up there, and they sound a lot higher than they do in the middle. And then starting in the middle and going the other direction down the keyboard, we have our bass area. I referred to that when I was telling you where to set your hands up in the for the song, the Party Time song. So this would be the bass area of the piano, and then this part is the low part of the piano. So we have low, bass, middle, treble, and high. And so I was thinking something that might be a good way for you to, there's space on this Party Time song, for instance, and to take some colored pencils and pick a different color for each one of those sections. And maybe you could just do some coloring on here for me, like shade in the notes that would be considered in the middle. Shade in the notes where you think is the bass. I told you that for the Party Time you're setting your hands up in bass, so that would include these notes that have the dots over them. And the low part is down here. So pick 5 different colors. Use pencil so that it doesn't, like if you use marker, it could bleed through to the other side. And I think if you use colored pencils, I'm guessing you have them for school because pretty much most kids do. And then pick 5 and then color these different areas. And then if you could label at the bottom, I'm not going to grade you on spelling or anything. I would just like you to see if you can remember the words I talked about. Low, bass, B-A-S-S. That's how we do a music bass. I know bass like baseball is B-A-S-E, but this is B-A-S-S. Then you have middle, treble, and high. So if you could do that for me and do the labeling on the bottom, that I think hopefully would help you be able to review what we learned last week. I just want to make sure that you really understand that. And we have those words in our vocabulary now, so that if I say I'd like you to play this on the high part of the piano, you know where to put your hands, that kind of thing. The other thing I want you to make sure, we didn't get to do any patterning. And since you have a pattern CD, I think it's just as easy for you to work with patterning with the CD. And then also, so I think you're supposed to be through track 3 on your pattern CD. So make sure you listen to 1 and 2 and 3. That's your homework. And then on your listening CD that goes with your book, you should be able to listen. This is unit 6, and you can listen 1 unit ahead. So you should be listening from unit 1 all the way through unit 7. So you listening particularly to unit 6 will help you with some of the pattern things that you need to know for Party Time, and then be able to try to play Party Time with the CD. And it'll also help you get ready for the songs that are coming up that we're going to be doing the next couple of weeks. We'll be in unit 7. I think there were 2 of them in unit 7. And I'd also like to remind you, I was just showing you the Party Time page, but I'm sorry, it's Party Time. But there's a new one of these to do, and you've been doing such a great job at working on these exploring projects. So see if you can do it, because it looks pretty much like what we've done before. It's a duple, and we've done the knocking, so I don't really think I need to work with you on the video. I think that you can figure that part out on your own, and then next week we can kind of see how you did on it. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what you should be doing. And again, like I said in the previous video, if you have any questions at all, have Mom get a hold of me, and that way we can make sure you're practicing it correctly. I hope to see you next Wednesday. Hopefully you'll be nice and healthy and ready to go. See you then.